Kang the Conqueror has been completely reworked and now seems like a much more interesting card. Yes, I'm sorry, Alex. The old version was copy. Let's talk about the new Kang. He's a 3/4. Game start. Replace this with 4 Kangs with text from random cards that cost 3 or more. So they have literally completely changed this guy. I absolutely cannot wait to start playing with this is a brand new card. So this is awesome, and I do actually really like when they do this. However, we have a big question to ask, guys. Is he actually good? Well, I've been crunching the numbers. I've been looking at the possible cards that he can create, and I've got some other considerations like the synergies that are now going to work with him, and the downside and the bad side of the card. But let's just get into this. So first of all, here's a little gander at some of the best cards, some of the really good cards, and then the bad cards and the awful cards. And this is just the outliers, I would say. I looked at all of the potential cards that he can create copies of, or like versions of, that he will become in the various different timelines, and this is what I've come up with. So of course it's not an exhaustive list, but here we go. Some of the best hits here I think include Blue Marvel. This is absolutely one of the best for me. This is just insane, like the amount of power this can put out. What if you generate him like up to like 11 power plus the 4 power of the card itself? It's like a 315. That's board wide as well, so I love that. Iron Man is fantastic. Gore is fantastic. Blob is pretty good, especially if you're running, like, I was going to say if you're running Arishem, but I mean you never. Imagine playing Agamotto, Arishem, all the other cards, like Thanos. How many? We're going to be getting up to like Magic the Gathering Commander size decks. Anyway, White Tiger's going to absolutely bang. Claw and Omega Sentinel, even though they said this on the Snapchat, I've only just realised that like Claw and Omega Sentinel are actually like very similar. They both do hand stuff, and they both like affect a big amount of power in another location, which is cool. Are they both 7 as well? I'm not sure. Leader is amazing. Doctor Doom, Alioth, the Thing First Steps. How cool is that? 4 power that eventually by the end of the game becomes a 12 power card that also, if you fill the if you played it on turn 3, then if you fill the location, then you destroy something. And then some of the ones that are like the better hits, the good hits, include like an Odin, a 3/4 Odin's nice, a Laufey, very good, a Captain Carter, extremely powerful. But let's talk about the bad stuff. Gladiator, potentially pulling something massive from their deck, thinning their deck, but also almost certainly not destroying it. Well, not almost certainly, but you're far less likely to destroy it than you are with a normal Gladiator. Cards that have restrictions on where you can play, like Cull Obsidian, Crossbones, Giganto, even though I haven't put Giganto on this list here, but Giganto also falls into that category. Sentry, oof, really bad. All of these cards that have very specific defined archetypes, especially I guess this kind of includes a lot of discard cards as well. And then the like just awful ones that are so bad that they're kind of like not game losing, but literally a dead draw. You basically can't play the card. That includes Starbrand, Red Skull. I mean, Red Skull is just basically give your opponent 3 cost, give your opponent 4 power. Or you give them 8, but you've got 4. If that makes sense. Typhoid Mary, another bad one. Mr. Negative, bad. Imagine getting Agatha. Like, it's going to happen. I think there's something like 230 cards in the 3 to 9 whatever range, so it's gonna happen. Rarely, sure, but it will happen. The goblins and like Infinite and stuff. So yeah, those all are woeful. Well, the light dropped a bit there. I do apologise. So I also looked, and these figures are unbelievably crude, but I looked at all of the cards, looked at which ones are good, just generally good effect, which ones are mid or average or like fine basically, and then which ones are bad and awful, and this is what I came up with. So a good solid result will happen like 21% of the time, which hopefully that equates to roughly 1 of the 4 cards that he becomes. Mid or like fine, like playable, is most of the time really 43%, so that might be about 2 of the cards. And then the bad options will be something like what, 35% of the time. So certainly probably at least 1 of your cards on average that you'll get in your deck will be a bad or awful card. So yeah, definitely a mixed bag with Kang. you'll definitely get some interesting stuff. You'll probably almost certainly get some bad stuff, and then you'll get some mixed stuff as well. So, not 100% sure. Also, we do need to bear in mind that you are shuffling or adding whatever 4 cards. Or technically you're adding 3 cards to your deck that wouldn't have been there otherwise. So you're making your deck bigger, which is removing consistency. So for example, in like a Silver Surfer deck, which might be one of the first places you think of for this new Kang, you're actually slightly less likely to draw Surfer. So yeah, there's definitely some interesting stuff, but there's some downsides that you need to consider. However, it does mean there's some new synergies. Surfer, obviously. However, King Eat Tree could be a really good one, because these 3-4 cards, they might well be a benefit, and if you have a card like King Eat Tree, you can just draw something from your deck. That could be really powerful. Alongside that, Quinjet as well. These cards will be discountable. They didn't start in your deck, so they're going to be 2-costed cards. Now, you drop all these cards to 2 cost, suddenly that bulk that are just mid actually become a lot more interesting, because a lot of them are mid just because either they're the same as existing cards, like for example a Hope Summers, it's literally just the same thing. A 2-cost Hope Summers, now it's time to head into some really interesting waters. So yeah, Kang, are you excited for the new Kang and playing him? I'm certainly excited. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.